Hey guys, this is Danny Boy. So, we are on Rannoch. We're trying to save Admiral Chorus. I'm going to use the arc pistol because I don't really use it very much. Don't get the opportunity. I was just stretching, by the way. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, my standard party members, I just use Liara and Javik. Oh, did I respec? I did. I am trying something new. I am going with Warp and Slam. I have given up on the whole melee thing. It's just...
There must be dropships nearby.
I can't do it to the extent that I want. I can melee every now and then, but I can do that without specializing in it. At least for now. Later in the game it becomes more of an issue. Melee doesn't really pack the punch that it does earlier in the game. But just didn't seem worth it. And the idea was to set up warp bombs with Slam, and then finish with Warp. I don't think that actually happens. In fact, I believe I forget to use Slam through the entirety of the... and by the way, vice versa. Set up warp bombs with Warp, and then finish them with Slam, is what I meant. And I totally forget that I even have Slam, and I've already given up on the arc pistol, and I'm going for the Javelin. I said I was going to try out the Javelin some more, so I wanted to make good on that promise. I didn't actually promise anything, but I did say I would do it, so may as well do it. And I don't really like the charge weapons. I've said that before as well. Don't really like them. So, enough. Also, if you were wondering, you probably have noticed by now that I pretty much never bother detonating my armor. I did to a small extent in the beginning of the game, but I quickly learned that it was pointless to do so, and more often than not would actually get me killed, because when you detonate your armor, it sets off your global cooldown, and when I'm in melee range, I would much rather use a throw or a cryoblast or anything else pretty much than detonate my armor and do an incredibly small amount of inconsequential damage. And that's basically it. It really doesn't do anything more than that. It does stagger to a small extent as well, but at least in my experience, rather pointless. So yes, I'm trying the whole sniping thing. I'm trying to still get used to the delay. I have made very, very little use of the Javelin. I have in fact not used it since the last time you saw me use it, which... I don't know. Was that my engineer playthrough? It could have been. I don't know if I ever even used it on my Vanguard. So I haven't used it in a long time. Actually, I did use it in my live fire episode for the Javelin. So that was probably the last time I used the Javelin. If I recall... never mind. Why? Why do you dock the second I fire? I will say I really didn't have a huge issue with ammo this time around. With the Javelin, I mean, one of the Javelin's, its main drawback is just the lack of ammo. Good way to make up for that is using Armax Arsenal armor pieces, using the chest piece, which you actually get, as it happens, here, in this mission. Or is it... No, yeah, I think it's this mission. And using the Armax Arsenal pants, the greaves, which you get very early in the game, I forget when. Very, very early, though. I use them for most of the game, generally speaking, because it's nice to have 10% more ammo on pretty much all weapons. It's always nice to have extra ammo, in my opinion. Oh no, I'm taking all of the damage. So yeah, I don't know. I really do still dislike the delay on the Javelin. I tend to just very quickly scope a lot of the times and then shoot. I do at just there. I even, you know, I was a bit off the head, so I moved upwards and aligned my reticle, but a lot of times I just want to get a quick shot off. In order to do that, I can't have a delay, because by the time, you know, it's actually ready to fire, they'll have moved, and that is a problem. I also really do not care about firing through cover. I don't care about firing through cover. It doesn't matter to me. The main reason I like the weapon is just the fact that you can, by default, see through smoke with it, so I can use the damage mod and the concentration mod, and still I will be able to see through smoke. And it's the only sniper rifle, it's the only weapon in the game that you have that luxury, and you've probably heard me talk about it before if you watch my other series or episodes or whatever, but I hate smoke. I love being able to see through it. I like to go quickly. I like to go fast, and smoke slows you down, and I hate going slow. So, if there's any way that I can speed things along, great. And I know there's about to be a prime. I've already grabbed the Spitfire. I'm just kind of waiting. How dare you? Fine, you get a grenade in the face. And it missed. Hell. Hell biscuits, I say. Hell biscuits. The most diabolic kind. And I made the mistake of using powers when I was revving up. You don't want to use powers when you're revving up. It interrupts it. Doesn't really matter. But still. If I hadn't made that mistake, he would be dead right now, but I interrupted it halfway through, which screws up its damage and its fire rate. But he'll be dead shortly. What are you doing? The one thing that I do just still hate about the Javelin, though, beyond the delay, is its very long reload. It's the reason why I don't generally use any of the bolt actions. They have just such a long reload. It also weighs a ton. That was an issue. I didn't really think about how much the Javelin was going to affect my cooldowns, and it really does. Right now. And I don't think I'm spec'd into the greater weight reduction in my passive. Made a very noticeable effect to the point that I was waiting around for cooldown sometimes. Here you. Come here, beautiful. How did he not just die? Yeah, see, no longer spec'd into the melee goodness. Melee goodness means my melee doesn't really do that much damage anymore. To the point that, as the game goes on more and more, I won't really even bother. Which sucks, because if you've watched the series, you notice that I do melee at pretty much any opportunity, every opportunity, where it seems like it's safe to do so. So disappointing. I look forward to my soldier. He'll be another melee not character, but I'm going to try the whole melee thing with him at least. Go away. So, done and done. Spitfire makes that fight very simple. The hardest thing is just making sure you're not flanked by hunters or something. So here I am, I think, trying something new. I believe I always go right on that little fork in the road sort of thing, the two paths. I always take the right path. So this time, I took the left path, and I really wanted to kill that flamethrower guy. And then I realized, oh, there's a turret just 20 feet away from me. Right. So yes, need to deal with the turret. I actually do have a sniper rifle, so I can hit him. Unfortunately, and I will realize this soon, I think I did just deal with him, but that was just amusing. I'm remembering that I have Slam as well. I had completely forgotten that I spec'd into it. Slam is really fun, actually, but I'll talk about that later. Just, when they're behind the turret, you can't hit them with things like Overload. You can only arc projectiles around the cover in the front to hit them. That makes it difficult to kill them because you need to take out their shield first before you can kill them with the sniper rifles. It takes 2 shots at least, if not more, maybe 3. Just all around annoying. But yes, Slam is very, very amusing. I actually love it, but I don't realize how much I like it yet. To the point that, and I still have so much to do, so many more bonus powers to try out that I won't be sticking with it. Kind of regret the decision in retrospect, but hindsight is always 20/20. I had a lot of different things I wanted to try out. But I actually really, really like Slam on the Sentinel. You'll be seeing quite a bit more of Slam later. Also, something interesting that was just pointed out to me by a commenter, but I have complained, and it might come up, I don't think it'll come up here, it generally only comes up with rapid-fire weapons. But the thing where you're shooting at an enemy from behind cover, and it's like you're hitting invisible armor, and you're not doing any damage to them, you're firing but there's no effect to them. Apparently, that is the same bug where you're hitting the cover in front of you, the lip of the cover. Just like occasionally I will use Overload and it'll just hit the cover in front of me rather than hitting an enemy. Or when I was using Reeve, it would do the same thing. Well, it's the same thing with guns at times, with weapons. You'll just hit the cover in front of you, or the game will think you're hitting the cover in front of you, and you'll do no damage. It's like the cover, you know, mechanically speaking, in just the world of games, when you're behind cover, you have an invisible wall in front of you that you are shooting over and enemies are blocked by or whatever. And then it's textured to make it look like, you know, something real and something that has mass and is a structure. Something solid. So, some areas in the game, some areas with cover, the invisible wall is extended higher than the developers intended, and so powers hit it rather than hitting their targets. It hits the lip sometimes. Especially if you just very quickly peek and then shoot a power, you won't be all the way over the cover when you peek, and you'll just hit the cover. It's the same thing with weapons, so that's something to keep in mind. It's a really, really annoying bug, and probably the most annoying bug in the game, though I've yet to really have any issue where I died because of it or anything. I've had far more deaths from charge failing to work than anything else. Granted, it's still a lot better than it used to be. I had a lot more deaths from charge just bugging out in Mass Effect 2 than Mass Effect 3. It works pretty well this time around. So yeah, turret sequence. I've actually cut out a lot of these in my episodes of this series. I generally just cut them out, but I haven't showed one in a while, so yay, turret sequence. I think there's another one at the end of this video that I will cut out. I don't know. You guys really want to see turret sequences over and over and over again? They never change, so it's always a turret and streaming enemies that you have to kill before they kill you. But for you to get killed is incredibly unlikely, considering there's a huge thing, you know, a huge plate in front of you that prevents you from taking damage from the vast majority of attacks. So the only way for them to actually kill you is if they somehow get around you, because you can only turn 90 degrees. They have to actually get to your rear and then attack you. I mean, odds are that's not going to happen. More than likely. And when there's no threat of failure, there really isn't much interest. Much excitement. That time, though, they kind of started behind me. So I had to just abandon it. And ow, ow, ow. And again, this is an example of the game has been made easier. That Geth Pyro just hit me a million times with that flamethrower and didn't kill me. And that's not because of tech armor. They just don't do that much damage this time around. If this was Mass Effect 2, I would have been dead so many times over again. Number one, they just about instantly killed you in Mass Effect 2. Not instantly, but close to it. Number two, they stunned you for very long periods of time, where it was very easy for other enemies to kill you. Why they nerfed that? No idea. No reason to. You face them all of maybe 3 times in the entire game. There are only Geth Pyros. There aren't Pyros of any other. There are no Cerberus Pyros or anything like that. And you face them and just, you know, there's only a handful of Geth missions. And you don't even face them in all the Geth missions, so it's an incredibly rare occurrence to begin with. I don't know. All I know is, I don't know. This is about it, though, guys. This was Rannoch, whatever. And we are moving right along. We are definitely moving right along. I'll be skipping the Geth server mission entirely because it's not really a mission, it's just a huge plot sequence when it comes down to it, so you guys won't be seeing that. If you'd like to see it, feel free to check out my Vanguard playthrough. It is very clearly labeled Geth server in the playlist, and it shows the entire thing, all the cutscenes and everything. And next is going to be, I think, the Reaper base, the final Rannoch mission. Unless there's something I'm forgetting, but anyway, thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned for more. Please like if you like the video, and sub if you want to see more Mass Effect 3. Have a good one.